Good evening, everyone. I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince. Welcome to my last September vlog of Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, I guess a lot of you viewers want to know why I call myself the Mustang Prince. Well, it all started during my high school years since the fall of 2005. The high school I went to at the time was called Tribuco Hills High School. There, the mascot was the Mustang. When I discovered that, I suddenly got interested in any animal that was horse-related, whether being a horse, a winged horse, a centaur, or even a unicorn. And my interest in horses grew even more when I discovered at the Chinese restaurants that my birth year, 1990, was the year of the horse, same as this year. Then, one day, during my senior year, I came across two Japanese animated films on YouTube that became my inspiration to be named the Mustang Prince, which happens to be for today's subject, which is going to be about two epic films starring a very special little unicorn with the power to bring happiness. That's right! Tonight, I'm reviewing both The Fantastic Adventures of Unico and its sequel, Unico and the Island of Magic. But first, I should talk about the character of Unico. For those who don't know, Unico is an anime character created by manga king Osamu Tezuka. The same man who gave us Astro Boy. Unico is a baby unicorn with white fur, a pink mane, and a little cinnamon bun-shaped ears, who was born with a very special gift of making all living creatures lighthearted and happy. Unico's way of bringing happiness to others gets him into trouble with the gods. They believe that they alone have the ability to control others' emotions. The gods send the West Wind to banish Unico to the Hill of Oblivion, but the West Wind takes pity on Unico and declines to follow the gods' commands. The gods are furious when they learn of the West Wind's defiance and send the Night Wind to capture Unico. To protect Unico from the gods and the Night Wind, the West Wind must continually transport the little unicorn from place to place. Whenever the gods discover the Unico's whereabouts, the West Wind appears to spirit him away once again, often without getting to say goodbye to any of the friends he has made, and without any memory of those friends, as Unico's memory is wiped clean every time. So, now that you know the backstory, let's talk about the movies themselves, starting with The Fantastic Adventures of Unico, which was released in Japan on March 14th, 1981. This musical film presents the backstory of Unico's banishment and subsequent travels, as well as his friendships with certain creatures that he has met along the way. Not too long after the West Wind takes Unico away from his mother, he is left on the island of the Devil of Solitude, where he meets Beezle, who is a Scottish devil who initially rejects Unico's overtures of friendship, but comes around when he realizes how lonely he really is. After Beezle saves Unico from drowning, the two begin their friendship in earnest, and then the West Wind comes to take Unico away again. The next creature Unico encounters is Katie, a black and white cat who dreams of becoming a witch. Katie and Unico befriend a lonely woman whom Katie mistakenly believes is a witch, and will teach her some magic as well as, transforming her into a human girl. When Unico changes Katie into a girl, Katie at first believes the old woman did it, until Unico proves it was his doing by changing her back into a cat. But Unico, seeing how selfish Katie has become, refuses to change Katie back into a girl until one day when Katie saves the old woman from drowning. Katie then becomes entranced by a man posing as a lord named Baron the Ghost. He invites her to his castle, gets her drunk, and attempts to seduce her. Unico follows her with the help of Beazle. After transforming into a majestic white-winged unicorn and destroying the monster that the Lord that has transformed into. Afterwards, the West Wind comes to take Unico away again, and Katie moves in with the old woman. And that's the end. Well, pretty much the end of that first movie, because 2 years later, on July 16th, 1983, they released a sequel called Unico and the Island of Magic. In this film, Unico meets a kind-hearted young girl named Sherry. Along with her older brother Toby, who is working with the evil Lord Karuku, who plans to turn all living creatures, animals, and people alike into zombie-like beings called living puppets, to be his slaves. Toby's job is to change people into living puppets and then lure the puppets to Karuku's island castle, in exchange for learning more of Karuku's magic. His plan to obey and serve until he learns enough to be the master, but fails to protect Sherry twice. Toby also takes on Melvin the Magnificat, who hates Unico because Unico intruded in his forest, which happens to be where the West Wind left him at the beginning of the film. After Sherry's parents and neighbors all get turned into living puppets, she and Unico team up to stop Karuku. Seeking advice from the Trojan horse, Unico and Sherry learn that Karuku is a puppet who was mistreated by his owners and discarded. He washed up at the edge of the world, where all unwanted junk end up eventually, and was brought to life with the power of sunlight, determined to take revenge on the human race. With the help of the Sphinx's daughter, Unico, who realized that Karuku is really just a lonely, friendless creature, is able to break Karuku's spell. But since Karuku's hate was the only thing that kept him alive, Karuku's reverts to puppet form, and Sherry takes him in as a toy. Soon afterwards, the West Wind finds Unico and spirits him away once again. So that was the Fantastic Adventures of Unico and Unico and the Island of Magic. So, what do I think of each film? Well, they're heartwarming, funny, dark, and scary at times, and the animation is just fantastic. And I love both of them for different reasons. Well, the first movie is good while you get to know about Unico's origins. The film does take you to more than one location, but the villain doesn't get too much scenes. As for the second one, I find it a bit better because it takes darkness to a whole new level, because the villain has way more appearance and does have a backstory as well. And he is much creepier than the first villain as well. And the new characters, like Sherry, are unforgettable. As for my rating, I'll give the first movie an 85%, and I'll give the sequel a 94%. Well, that's it for tonight, everybody. And it also pretty much concludes my September blogs for this year. I want to thank everyone for watching my blogs this month as I go back on my childhood. So be sure to tune in next month because I'm going to start to blog some Halloween-related films. See you later, everyone. Mustang Power!
The little fellow named Unico, as cute can be. An innocent boy was Unico, so happy and so carefree. What heaven, life as sweet as nature could have planned. What strange gift do you hold in your hand? Is it true that wherever you may go, oh Unico, across the land the fighting will cease and night will turn to day. All tears will simply disappear and the world will say